So, this is Wreck Apocalypse. This is pretty much going to be a series of videos that's going to be coming up on YouTube probably today. Talking about my experiences at Orycon, um, books I got, future role playing plans. Also be covering Brigade Con as well, and just overall geekdom. So this one here is going to pretty much cover the Portland convention I went to, my personal uh, favorite con that I've been to and been going to for years and helped volunteer for years, Orycon. It is the science fiction. It's a science fiction convention held in Portland every year in the first part of November. Um, I've been going to it since 2008. Um, been a volunteer floater for the con since pretty much 2009. Um, and whenever I have been able to go, well, I've been pretty much volunteering. Unfortunately, I am getting older and more decrepit in my old age, so I am not going to be probably in the future be doing as much setup and teardown as I normally would. I'm probably going to be doing more office style work, like doing panels for our role playing game, which is a personal favorite of mine, and yeah, doing volunteer work for the front office, stuff like that. There, I always like helping out at conventions, so that is my current plan. What else? I ran two games. I only had to cancel one, which was Splicers because of health issues. But the Rift game went. Actually, I ran four games because I run an off the cuff old school Robotech game, featuring the rules from this rule set. Um, so I got that, did that for a group of guys. It was kind of cool. Hopefully in the future I will be able to continue that game with them, thanks to GM Juice's One Shot group, which has been a real help to me as far as finding people to role play with and making up some new friends to geek out with and what have you. And thanks to his and thanks to Brigade Con as well, I will probably be running a full out campaign from my Splicer game that I ran on Brigade Con. What else? The first game was kind of interesting. We used some of the pre-generated characters from the Game Master Guide that you could get off of the Playing website if you're a Megaverse ambassador. Um, we pretty much set them up on the classic adventure of hunting down. I put basically it was a bounty mission, so they went out and basically tried to kill some vampires. Did kill some. There was some antics. My wife was involved. The only thing that I need to improve on due to the fact of how the combat system works in Revs, I probably need to expand the demo out from instead of being like 3 hours to potentially 4 or 5 hours, maybe even six, um, which is not a big deal. It just means I will be doing more sit down time, which realistically is not really an issue. Um, um, so therefore, that's my future plans on my GMing. But that game pretty much went overall well. Everyone liked it. I got a bunch of responses back on improvements that I need to do, and they overall liked the system. So we probably got some more Palladium fans in the future out of that. The next day we did Dead Rain. Says Dead Rain is a SD system, and for those who don't know about, Dead Rain is Palladium's um, zombie game. Post, I wouldn't say post-apocalyptic, but it's a zombie game where in which you can pretty much you play a survivor, and there's other character classes that you can pick, occupational character class you can pick from. but it's pretty much the equivalent of The Walking Dead, but by Palladium books. So you can pick anything from um, a death cult caused the zombie infestation, government doing secret experiments, um, and just a random host of things. So it's a pretty good um, open-ended storyline that lets the GM pretty much come up with whatever way he wants the zombie apocalypse to happen, and let it just jump off from there. So it's overall good times. Um, so we did Dead Rain, had a couple of characters. That game was a lot more interesting because there was less needing to go through the demo because a lot of people from the first game showed up for this game, for the Dead Ring game. So this is basically how it went down. I had them basically they were all but um, doing a bachelor party, and they went into a cabin in the woods, of course. And one of the players, and I do mean one of the players, classic, uh, just had to hog the attention. So basically, he went out in the woods with his handgun and just decided to randomly shoot off stuff. So typical, misguided youth type scenario. So he got his foot caught by a zombie. He failed his hard check, and it went from there. So there was a local cemetery over there. Then down the road, uh, they discovered this, and then they like, okay, we're getting out of here. So they try to run away from the graveyard that was coming from the east, head south down the road, where of course there was a school bus that has turned over, exploded, and then there was a juggernaut. Because I had them do interactive role playing beforehand, and their skills had it in their pre-generated characters. One was pretty much a freelance brewer. So he brought a couple of gallons of pretty much moonshine for the stag party. This was already talked about in game, role played. It wasn't anything that they were trying to do for, you know, metagaming. It was just random role play amongst the characters, and they're going off of their character sheets. So I allowed the giant thing of booze to be kicked off the thing. And with how much raw alcohol there was, they blew up the juggernaut, blew up the bus out the way, and pretty much, and this is a classic side of wherever you plan a role playing game, as a GM, can be horribly, horribly mutilated by your players, no matter how much playing you do. So, yeah. So they blew up the school bus, went down the road, and one I threw out and Hummer, and the same guy from before. I will call him. Uh, we will refer to him as Dog Meat because it's kind of like the guy from the dog from Fallout, which just randomly gets slaughtered. So he gets out of the vehicle, um, fails his perception check, so he just gets in the vehicle, and then a zombie attacks him. Another one of the players in the game tried to take a headshot and rolled a natural one. We all know what that means. Had him roll another roll to see if he hit. If he hit, he had a hit. So the fumble pretty much went is he was trying to put his sights on the zombie and went, but something happened and jerked the player back into sight. When he pulled the trigger, he blew the head off of the other character, and that was that. So we had one death in the game. Then we had them take off because one of the characters' family was in town. So they had 30 minutes before a basically giant napalm bomb was going to be dropped on Portland and cleanse the area. So they ran down there. They pretty much corralled the zombies for a while. He managed to get his family out, and with less than 2 minutes to spare, the bomb drops off. And of course, the shock wave won the cars, but no one died from that little hiccup. And that was pretty much it. Everybody really loved the game, and that was basically it. The Robotech game was basically I met the guys at the first game of Rifts, and they really wanted to play Robotech. They're like, and this is a classic thing that I've run into with a lot of playing characters or players who they will buy all the books, but no one really wants to GM it. They want to play in it, but nobody wants to actually run the game. So me being an ambassador and supposed to be a GM, I told them, get your books, roll up your characters. I told them the day before, roll up your characters, meet me in the board game room where I was doing watch at, and I'll run you through a one shot. Um, so we did the one shot. It was a classic rescue mission. One of the characters got fell asleep behind the pilot seat, and his company left, and now he's left stranded. There was a couple of battle pods and Satrani that was in the area, so we had that fight go on. Um, they had their little discussion and role playing bits. I did kick it old school and played some Min May during the course. And for those who don't follow Robotech or the Macross series, depending on which one you want to go with, um, the Satrani are affected, and I cannot guarantee I have this down pat. uh, Music affect them in a bad light, so they kind of like can't deal with the emotional feelings they get when they hear music. So the latest Minmay single was being played through the loudspeakers. I kind of cheesed it up. I played one of that, and then I went from that to Macross Plus and played some Sharon Apple, which for me, out of the Macross, out of the Robotech series that I enjoyed the most out of, Macross Plus was the main one, and I really enjoyed the soundtrack from. I still listen to it now whenever I decide I want to hear something cool and whatnot. So we did that. The con went from there. There was lots of drinking and catching up with friends. There were a couple of people that I did not get to hang out with that I would like to have. My friend Lisa, um, who else? Jessa, um, my friend Tangent, PJ. These are all friends of mine that I've known for a couple of years. Um, but the thing is, when you're working a con or at a con, it's just bam, bam, bam. Anyone, especially for those who like worked at the game con, you really don't even have time to breathe that much. It's just one thing after another, trying to make sure everything runs smoothly. So, um, I was disappointed that I didn't get to hang out with everybody and have as many conversations as I wanted to have with certain people, but it was still overall a great con. I have really no regrets. So I think the first Saturday night I went through an entire bottle of Absolute vodka. That was fun. Me and the wife pretty much split that. Well, no, the wife had like 3 shots. I pretty much killed the bottle, and then got up at 7 and spend the night at the hotel. Got up and opened the doors to the game room and did my volunteer hours, and then from there went up to hospitality. Which at our con we actually have a hospitality room, which we feed our con goers for free. They can make donations, but basically when you pay for your entry fee, you also get fed. But it's not like full out meal. It's pretty much snacky foods, cereal, breakfast, that type of deal is what usually goes on for hospitality. Um, Misery did a fabulous job with the food this year. Um, Despite that, we do have our normal complainers of the food sucks, blah blah blah. But these are people who will complain about anything. You can give them the Hope Diamond, and they will be complaining like hell. Um, so that went off pretty well. I helped with some of the teardown. Um, I did a little bit with teardown this year, not as much as I normally do, um, and helped out with some of the stuff in the kitchen. Actually, I didn't even have love in the kitchen this year. I pretty much got told by everybody not to do anything because by the time the end of the con was over, both of my arches, because I'm flat-footed, no, get out, completely fell. And then I was pretty much both of my feet swelled up pretty bad. So I really didn't do much. I had a grand total of in the con for 3 days. I had a total of 18 hours, um, which is pretty high for volunteers. Some people had upwards of, I think the highest this year was 27 hours, maybe 30. I was an 18. So I put in a good bit of time. Majority of that was doing the panelist work this year. I really do appreciate that our friend Cthulhu, which is actually his con name, um, let me be a panelist this year and run games. I'm planning to expand upon that next year and probably do the same thing again. Um, and that was basically it. It was a great con. I enjoyed it immensely. You should definitely check it out if you're in the Portland area. It's called Orycon. Um, I'll put a link down in the bottom for you to check it out. I don't think they got a new website up yet, but I'll put down the name of the con and you can look it up. It's in Portland, Oregon. It happens in November. Um, so from there, I think the next video is going to be covering my Brigade Con um, experiences and what have you. And then the third video will cover my next video after that will be covering my Splicers game, how that went, my thought process behind what I was doing, and what my plans are for the campaign from there. So yeah, that's basically it. Oh, and there will also be a giveaway this year um, video. Basically, I'm gonna make a video. There will be a uh, copy of Rifter 67 given out for free. Uh, so follow the videos um, and subscribe if you like. And basically, how it's gonna work is um, the video is gonna be a character design or character build contest with bio. I'll go over what I'm looking for in that video. But yeah, that's the plans of videos. I'm planning to just do a shotgun method and do them all today. And that's basically it. So I thank you for coming by the Rex Apocalypse channel. Um, hope you enjoy. Come back soon. Like I said, if you in the Portland area come next year in November, definitely go check out Orycon. Definitely worth the time and is a fabulous con ran by fabulous people. So that's basically it. Thank you again from coming by my channel, Rec Apocalypse 8186. And that's basically it. So I'm out and let's keep that world burning. So that's about it. Talk to you later. Bye.